If you had told me a year ago that I'd end up pressed against the cold glass wall of my own conference room, breathing his name into the darkness, I would have laughed, the tight, polite laugh of a woman who's too disciplined to even imagine such chaos. I was his mentor, his guide. The sharp edge that cut through his arrogance when he strutted in late, tie loose, eyes too bright for someone so junior. I taught him how to stand still in a room full of noise, how to hold power without flaunting it. And yet here I am tonight with the taste of my own rules burning on my tongue. Because a few minutes ago, when the rest of the team filed out after our late strategy review, he stayed behind. He leaned back against the door, that infuriating smirk dancing at the corner of his mouth. Then he said it, low, almost bored, as if it were just another bullet point on the agenda. Do you know everyone imagines you naked? I should have fired him on the spot. I should have laughed in his face, collected my laptop, and left him standing there with his childish fantasy. Instead, I felt my pulse climb into my throat so fast I almost choked on it. His eyes pinned me to the carpet. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. And the worst part? I didn't want to. Now his shadow fills the glass walls behind me. The city lights flicker through his hair. And I know in this hush between heartbeats that my next choice will ruin every line I've drawn for myself. But tonight, I'm tired of lines. He's always tested me. From the first day he walked into my office, sleeves rolled just enough to hint at a rebellion he never bothered to hide. He was brilliant, reckless, and he knew exactly how much that combination disarmed people like me. At first, I thought I could mold him. I lectured him on precision, on restraint, on what it meant to be taken seriously in rooms full of men twice his age. He would nod, lips pressed together, pretending to listen while his eyes traced the line of my collarbone when he thought I wouldn't notice. But I always noticed. Every time his knee brushed mine under the table during late-night edits. Every time he lingered after meetings, offering to help with something trivial, his voice dripping with a kind of mischief that made my skin tighten beneath my blouse. I told myself it was harmless, that I was immune, that I was the one in control. But sometimes late at night, I'd catch myself replaying our arguments in my head, the way he'd lean too close, the way his mouth would twitch when he knew he'd gotten under my skin. I'd wonder what it would feel like if he ever closed that last inch between us. And then I'd bury the thought deep enough to stand in front of him the next day without betraying how badly he was starting to pull the threads loose inside me. But tonight, with his back against that door, his eyes dragging over me like he owns every secret I've never confessed, I feel those threads snapping, one by one. He says nothing now. Just watches, waiting for me to break the silence first. And God help me. I want to. I don't remember crossing the room. I just remember the sound of my heels echoing off the glass, the small gasp that slipped out of me when his hand caught my wrist, gentle, but with that same reckless certainty I've pretended to tame for months. He doesn't ask permission. He doesn't apologize. He just steps closer until my back bumps against the long oak table where I've led 1,000 presentations. Each slide a fortress against the very thing I'm feeling now, this unraveling heat licking up my spine. His breath ghosts my ear when he whispers, "Say you've thought about it." It would be easier to lie. To cling to the last shred of the woman everyone thinks I am, unshakable, dignified, untouchable. But his palm is pressed flat against the small of my back, urging me closer, and my dignity has no armor against the way my knees soften when he breathes me in like this. I don't say yes. I don't say no. I just let my eyes drift shut and tilt my head until my forehead brushes his jaw. He laughs, a low sound that vibrates through his chest and into mine. It's the kind of laugh that says he already knows the truth. His fingers slide to my waist, anchoring me against the table's edge. I feel the cool varnish under my palms, the tension coiled in my belly, the delicious terror of realizing I don't want him to stop, not now, not when I've spent so long pretending I didn't crave exactly this. Outside the glass walls, the city keeps humming. Inside, I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a confession so dangerous it might swallow us both whole. And still I lean in. Because for once I want to be devoured. He kisses me like he's been waiting for this since the day I first told him no, slow at first, almost reverent, as if testing whether I'll push him away. But my hands betray me, sliding up to his shoulders, pulling him closer until my body forgets how to pretend I'm not starving for him. I feel the scrape of his stubble against my cheek, the warmth of his breath when he murmurs my name like a secret he's tired of keeping. The table edge digs into my thighs, grounding me in the here and now, no rules, no titles, just heat and want and the thrill of knowing I'm breaking every boundary I wrote for myself. He pulls back just enough to look at me, really look at me, and for a heartbeat I almost can't stand it. There's no arrogance now, no cocky grin. Just that raw, hungry honesty I used to lecture out of him in boardrooms. Tell me to stop, he whispers, his thumb tracing the corner of my mouth, as if he'd obey me if I did. But my lips part for him instead of words. He answers my silence with another kiss, deeper, rougher, coaxing sounds out of me I'd sworn no one would ever hear within these walls. My hands slide under his shirt, mapping the tension I've only ever glimpsed when he rolled his sleeves up to challenge me in meetings. He lifts me, effortlessly, recklessly, until I'm perched on the polished table that's seen my best pitches and my harshest reprimands. Now it's seeing something else, the surrender of the woman who built this fortress brick by brick, undone by the only man bold enough to knock it down from the inside. Outside, the city doesn't care. But inside, my world tilts completely in his hands. And for the first time in years, I don't want to steady it. He moves against me like he's memorizing every shiver, every soft sound I can't swallow down fast enough. I feel the heat of him even through the thin fabric still clinging to the last traces of my restraint that's slipping with every heartbeat drumming under my ribs. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I registered the absurdity. The quarterly report scattered on the floor, my blazer half off, the projector light blinking in the corner like an impatient witness. But all I can focus on is his mouth at my throat, the way his hand spread me open to him, coaxing me to let go of the version of myself I've spent years polishing to perfection. He pauses just once, breath ragged against my collarbone, as if he's fighting himself too. I feel the tremor in him, the quiet confession hidden in the way his fingers dig into my hips like he's afraid I'll vanish the moment this ends. I cup his jaw, force him to look at me through the shadows and flickering city lights. His eyes aren't cocky now. They're wide, pleading, hungry in a way that unravels something deep in my chest. Don't you dare hold back, I whisper, surprised at my own voice, raw, reckless, nothing like the mentor he's known. His answering smile is the sweetest ruin I've ever seen. And then there's no room for words, just breath and skin and the desperate sounds of two people forgetting who they're supposed to be, remembering only how to feel. The table creaks beneath us, the glass walls echoing the hush of my name falling from his lips over and over, until it doesn't feel forbidden anymore, just inevitable. And when my head tips back, stars press behind my eyelids, I think, let them imagine me like this. Let the whole damn office gossip. Because they'll never know how it really feels to finally break. When it's over, I don't move right away. I'm afraid that if I do, the weight of what we've done, what I've allowed, will crash over me like an avalanche I can't crawl out from under. He stays close, forehead resting against my shoulder, breath warm against the skin he's kissed bare. His hands trace idle patterns on my waist, as if he's grounding himself too, as if he knows that once we step away from this table, we're not mentor and student anymore. We're co-conspirators in a secret that hums beneath our clothes under our skin every time our eyes meet across a crowded meeting. I should pull away first. I should remind myself, that tomorrow I'll have to stand in front of the team and pretend I'm still the composed woman who never lets a handsome boy bend her rules. But when he lifts his head and smiles, that soft, reckless grin that first made me hate him just enough to want him, all I do is cup his face and kiss him again. Slow this time. Almost gentle. As if to promise him that this part of me won't vanish with the dawn. Outside, the city hums on indifferent. Inside, I feel like the glass walls are holding in a storm I don't ever want to calm. He helps me down from the table. I smooth my skirt, push my hair back, but my reflection in the dark window laughs at my attempt at composure. He catches my wrist before I turn away, eyes dancing in that familiar, dangerous way. So, still my mentor? He teases, voice husky, lips brushing my ear like a dare. I laugh, breathless, undone, free in a way I haven't been in years. No, I whisper back. Tonight, you taught me. And I swear, in that hush before we step back into the world, I've never felt more beautifully out of control.